Good morning, everyone. This is Hadjikyriacos, analyst at IronFX, bringing you the morning comment for the 14th of November. Central bank chiefs gather under one roof. Today, Fed Chair Janet Yellen, ECB President Mario Draghi, Bank of Japan Governor Haruhiko Kuroda, and Bank of England Governor Carney will all participate in a policy panel in Frankfurt. The topic will be challenges and opportunities of central bank communication, and as such, some remarks on the respective policies of each bank appear quite likely. If indeed we get such comments, we would expect each chief to echo the stance of their banks, more or less. Kicking off with the Fed, Chair Yellen could reiterate that the economy is performing relatively well and that the recent shortfall in inflation is likely to be transitory. Overall, we expect her to maintain a neutral to optimistic tone and keep the prospect of a rate hike in December firmly on the table. Although a December hike is almost fully priced in by now, her optimistic comments could bring forth expectations with regards to the first rate increase in 2018 and thereby prove somewhat positive for the dollar. Meanwhile, we see the case for Bank of Japan's Kuroda to be on the opposite side of the spectrum and hint that the Bank of Japan will probably keep its ultra-loose policy framework in place for an extended period of time, in line with the recent communications. Although such comments will hardly be a surprise for any investor, we still believe that they could prove slightly negative for the yen. In combination, an optimistic tone from Yellen and a dovish one by Kuroda could push USD yen higher today. As for Draghi and Carney, they are likely to appear neutral, as there haven't been any major economic updates in neither the Eurozone nor the UK since the latest ECB and Bank of England meetings. USD yen has been trading in a consolidative manner since the 9th of November, between the support of 113.10 and the resistance of 113.70. During the European morning, the pair is testing the 113.70 barrier. An optimistic stance by Yellen today, combined with a dovish narrative by Kuroda, could prove the trigger for a break above that hurdle. Something like that may pave the way for the critical zone of 114.30. As for the rest of today's highlights, in terms of data, all eyes will be on the UK CPI prints for October. The forecast is for both the headline and the core rates to have risen even further above the Bank of England's 2% target to 3.1% and 2.8% respectively. Indeed, the nation's market services PMI showed inflation reaching a 6-month high in October, supporting the case for further acceleration in inflation. Even though an increase in the CPI rates could support the pound on the news, we doubt that it will have much impact on the Bank of England's policy, considering that in its November inflation report, the bank noted that it expects the CPI rate to have peaked in October. Euro sterling edged north yesterday, breaking above the resistance, now turned into support barrier of 0.8880. Nevertheless, the rate fell short of reaching the 0.8935 barrier. It found the resistance slightly below it and then it retreated to test the 0.8880 level as a support. Today, we get the UK